So we're starting here on the portal, and this is where we've uploaded information on the report card site, K28. So if I click here, and I'm on the portal site, it'll open up momentarily. The documents that have been added are in the report card job aids. You can see the first 6 or 7 documents, but if you want to see all the documents in this library, you click on More Items. In here, you will find sample report cards. We've done a primary, an elementary, and 2 middles. One is English Prime, the other is French Immersion. In addition, when we go to Data Connect, there are also blank report cards that you can print off and have to reference to. I'm going to open the English Prime Grade 6 for your reference. This is just to explain how the different sections work. You can see here there's very lengthy comments. Please don't think you're expected to write comments of that length for every subject and every student. For the comments, there is space for 1,000 characters, including spaces. So in making more lengthy comments, I was just trying to show you an indication of what approximately 1,000 characters and spaces looks like. The box is the same size for every subject, and that was necessary in the comments to assure that one subject's comment did not roll on to the next page. Also, in looking at the report card, you can see here that the learning habits for middle school are now being completed at the subject level. So for the first progress report card, these were completed by the homeroom teacher. For an achievement report card, these will be completed by the subject teachers. So that information is there, and we'll look at that where that's located in the grade book in a couple of moments. You can see here, this is the space that would have held the PLP indicator. That's still the case on the achievement report card, and if nothing has changed for your student, the indicator that you put on for the progress report will still be there. If you have a student who was not previously modified and is now modified, you will have to, in Power Teacher, add that indicator on there. So we're just in looking through the report card. Another addition, the legend on the middle school report card, because of the space required for the learning habits, sits at the top of each page. In addition to the legend for the scales, you will have your student's name and the page number of the report card. On the off chance report cards pages got separated while printing, there would be the student's name on each of the pages. So that's an addition that was made. Another request that was made is to have the subject teachers' names display. So they are now displaying. This is a training name for Power Teacher, but at your school, what will display there is teacher, semicolon, and then the teacher's name as it appears in Active Directory, so in the email. So it will be last name, comma, first name. So that's what's going to appear here. Currently, still requested but not yet able to be resolved, is when 2 people teach the same class, only the person with the designated lead will appear here. So that is certainly one we're still working towards, but it was not able to be achieved for this report card. Another thing to note in the comments here, this is a block of text. You can type your comments in Word and copy and paste them into the grade book, but if in Word you use bold text, bullets, italices, things along those lines, currently it will return to this form of a block of text. It is another enhancement we're requesting, but we made the determination come the end of December, any requests that we were not able to achieve with Pearson, that we would stop at that point trying to make changes so that we could avoid changes occurring while you're entering data. So that's just an example of one of the report cards with comments. There are more in the folder, and you can certainly take a look at those. And they're also located in the folder is a graphic organizer. It's a one page that you could print off just to reference the steps you go through in completing the report card. In addition to the one page, there is a detailed guide. So there is a guide for completing the middle school report card. So this is something that we suggested when we reviewed it with principals. Some people may want to print this. Others may be comfortable with working off of their screens. But again, it's a full document that walks through all the steps for completing this report card. I'm going to switch now to Data Connect, which is also linked from the portal. And this is where anytime we send a message out to teachers or administrators with directions, tips, we always upload the same information to the Data Connect project site. So on Data Connect, we do have the videos. So all the Tech Tuesdays are up here. There are additional videos by Ken O'Connor that give you tips on using Gradebook. But what we'll look at today is on My Data Connect, the Achievement Report Card results. So I'm going to go My Data Connect, Teacher K-8, and I'm going to make that choice. And I'm on the page with all the documents that are for use by K-8 teachers. Again, you have blank report cards, so if you want to print one and reference that. We also have the graphic organizer that I showed you here, and we have the Achievement Report Card Guide for 6 to 8. So that's also on this Data Connect site. There is more on the Data Connect than on the portal site because it also includes the information that we share with you. So while that is opening up, I am just going to go to my Power Teacher. And I'm here on a middle school teacher's Power Teacher. So the first step in completing your achievement report is before you launch Gradebook, if you've had any changes for your students on individualizations, they should be adjusted here. So right now, these 3 students have PLPs that the resource teacher has put the indicator on. But on the first semester, I made no modifications or individualization. So on their report card, it would show no indicator for grade 6 science. Let's say now that I'm having to modify some of the expectations for this student. I click on their name, I click on modified, and I click on submit. That would now put the PLPM on this student's report card for science. So something to keep in mind with the PLP indicators is they are at the subject level for teachers. So just because a resource teacher has put the indicator that a student is on a PLP does not mean every subject teacher will have to modify or individualize. So when you put these indicators on, it is at the level of the subject. Once I've assured that all of my PLP indicators are accurate for this report card, I can then launch my gradebook. It is important, especially if you're working on these at home, that you click on this blue launch button. In order to be able to access Gradebook from home, you want to have Power Teacher open, so it's the first step, and then launch your Gradebook using this button. You must be using your teacher laptop, so that will verify your access. If you click on your Gradebook icon at home and you haven't opened Power Teacher, you're going to get an error. So to avoid that frustration, come to Power Teacher, run the installer once if you haven't done so, and then launch. I've already launched mine, so I'm now in a grade book for a middle school teacher. So the really important thing to remember is you are now in quarter 2. So make sure you've selected quarter 2. You'll see quarter 2 here. This report card is a quarter 2 report card. So when I'm ready to complete my report cards, I'm going to switch to final grades. So what I want to ask myself is, am I on the right subject? Am I in the right quarter? Am I on final grades? Now, for the achievement report for middle school, you won't be using homeroom this time. Because the subject teachers are completing the learning habits, middle school teachers can skip homeroom. So I'm going to go to Science 6. I'm going to make sure, because I chose quarter 2 on the homeroom, it is going to be quarter 2 the whole way through, but it's always a good idea just to check. So yeah, I'm in science, quarter 2, and I'm ready to start filling out this student's final grades. So I have a comment, and I can see I've already made a comment for Mara Adams because the blue C is displaying. Then I have the learning habits. So as a subject teacher, I'm going to complete these. A good time saver is if I think that most of my students are doing good, then I can use the quick fill. I click on the bar where the name of the learning habit is. I right click and I choose quick fill. I can make them all good, and then I can go and change the few for which that is not accurate. To change them, I can type in the letter I want, or I can right-click on the cell and make the change. I find it faster to type, but it really is a personal preference. So again, I can move on to interactions. I can do the same thing and make an adjustment to the ones that need to be changed. So I'll do these quickly so you can see them. And then I can make my individual adjustments. You can note here that when we started, I had Mara already filled in because I had used her as a sample report card. Because I did that, when I quick fill a G, it does not fill any that are already done. So those are the learning habits. Now I can add a comment. Now, we've had some requests on, can I have a comment bank at middle school? So I'm just going to show you here, preferences. And there's my tip. I forgot to click save, and anytime I'm about to leave a page, if I forget, it's going to remind me. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to store those. And I went now, tools, preferences, and I'm on comment bank. So I can add some sentence starters. So I click on the ad, and I've received a chat message. And maybe Jeff can read that for me. So I'm going to put in a code. I can't use codes that are used on high school, so I'm just going to call this S6 for Science 6. And I'm going to give it a category, and so I'm going to type in here that this is about knowledge. It's a comment about the knowledge strand. So I'll just choose that there. I can use smart text, so if I want to start something and use somebody's first name, that will always put the student I'm commenting there. So it would be first name has demonstrated a strong, and I will not spend all the time to type, but I'll go like this, and then I can add another he or she, so it would add that, always participates. So I can start this, I can click OK, and that has now been added to my comment bank. So if I come back here to do a comment for Alan, You can see this is the district comment bank for high school, but I can go to my comment bank and I can use that. So you can see it puts in the student's name. It puts in he because it determines it's a boy. And then I could continue adding to that comment. So it's a great way for sentence starters. It's also a great for specialist teachers like music, where you might have many students and it'll be a time saver on comments. So that's my comments are under tools, preferences, and then you're going to be able to add to your comments. Once you've got your learning habits done in your subject comment, then you move on to filling in the strands. Just like with the learning habits, you do have the option to do a quick fill of the most commonly occurring score and then go back and adjust those that are different. Again, a time saver. So to repeat that, I go to the title of the strand, I go quick fill, and then I choose the one that's most common, and then I can adjust them. And again, I can type those in, or I can right click and I can choose the one I want. When I'm all done my grades, and we'll just fill these quickly, then I can click on save. This stores them. And then if I'm all done here, I can give myself a visual reminder by clicking here and going grades or final. This isn't a required step, it just is a visual reminder. If a teacher were to forget to do that, the office can still run the report cards, and even after you click that grades are final, then you can also still go in and change things. So it doesn't stop you from changing anything. It just says to me, I'm done these marks. Now, again, click save. If I forget to click save and I go to move on, I get the reminder that I've forgotten to save. So again, the steps repeat themselves. A comment for the subject. Learning habits are now located in each subject, and strands, time savers are always, we can fill comments and adjust them. We can quick fill scores and then adjust for individuals, and we can quick fill strands. So we can use that quick fill feature. And just there, so we've got those, I can move through the subjects. And all the steps that we covered here are in the guides that are located back on the Data Connect project site. In addition, the video that we're doing today and any other Tech Tuesday videos are also uploaded here. I'm going to stop here. This is a brief overview. We will take other opportunities for questions, but right now, before we wrap for the day, does anybody have any questions? Sarah, did you have a question?
Oh, yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm just wondering if I'm able to do this from my own computer, or does it have to be a teacher laptop?
It does have to be a teacher laptop because that's the only way of authorizing your access inside to the network from outside the firewall. So it's a security issue.
I am a long-term supply at the moment, heading into a D contract, and I haven't yet received a laptop. So I'm wondering how I'm going to submit my grades.
That would be, could you do me a favor? And can you pop me, and I'm going to put my email here, and I will pursue this and get an answer on how quickly you can expect that to happen and what workarounds we might have, okay?
That would be great, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Rob, I see your mic is open.
Yes, I was just wondering, how do I get to my Data Connect or Data Connections?
Okay, so when you are on the portal, and I'm just going to close the text box here so we can see, if I log on, and this is what you will see when you log on, I'll just go to the teacher view. When you log on, here you have the report card site I showed you, and there's also a quick link here to Data Connect.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Any other questions anyone has? I would suggest that on the Data Connect site that you open up the guide, perhaps print off the graphic organizer that takes you through the steps, and then certainly if you have any questions, you can we'll do subsequent follow-ups. We'll get a sense of the questions coming in and we can drill down deeper, but it is really in exploring the time savers on the quick fills and the comment banks. I think you can find that you can get accurate data out for your students, but also in an efficient way.
Well, if there's no more questions, I'd like to thank you again for your time, Mary Jo, and this will be posted sometime during the day tomorrow. Okay, take care, everyone.
Thank you very much.